going low recently. It's just been pushing so low and so low and so low. But just take a quick look at the monthly of Bitcoin. Ultimately, we are in such a big uptrend. So don't be alarmed at these lows that are coming. Ultimately, all it's doing is building structure for it to continue on up. But is the switch, is that pivot point happening now? Because we've all been waiting for this big old bull run since 20 and it's been much longer than that. We had the whole fake out 2020 into 2021 and then just bear and then some upward momentum recently, and now we've just fallen again. So I know so many people are just like, when's the bull run happening? It's not happening, it's not, and they're getting tired. But at the end of the day, crypto, you hold this way less than stocks and it moves like much quicker. So yeah, ultimately we're in a nice uptrend. We're just having a little baby pullback, like literally a baby pullback. But wait, welcome everybody. What? Look at that, 16%. 16% wick, 24%. It wasn't even a full, well, it might have been a 30% correction from the top. Let's do it again. From the top wick, have we had, yeah, we've had our 30, 35, 36% correction. So it's not that deep, people. It's not that deep. This pullback is not that deep. When it comes to a whole 90+% correction, that's when the bull run is over. All right, it's not over. It's just a pullback, and it's going to continue. But my name is Kelita Sahliah. If you are new, if you are not, then welcome. So the main thing we of course want to know right now is this the end? Like, what's going on? As you can see, I've got my moon phases up here. I do combine the crypto markets with astrology if you are new. So we're going to take a look at what's going on in December. Welcome to the first of the month, which starts tomorrow, but you're seeing it today. We are in right now our new moon, a full moon phase, forgive me. And if you don't fuck with astrology and you think it's bullshit, like just look at the moon phases. Look how you can see what's going on, at least I'd say 90% of the time. So we're gonna look at what's going on. We're in the new full moon phase. The moon phases start 5 days before the actual moon event and 5 days after. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically up until Tuesday of next cycle, the following cycle, we are going to be in our full moon phase. But what does that mean? And we're already in it now. So at any point from now till like the 9th, before we reach our half moon and transition into the new moon, we're in this full moon phase. But what does that mean? When it's the full moon, price likes to find its support. When it's the new moon, price likes to find its resistance. So as you can see, what happened here, price did find its support quite clearly. It was a weaker moon, as you can see, so we didn't go up that much before starting to come down. And then we had our recent new moon in Scorpio, which was here on the 20th, and just look what happened. We found our resistance level and then we fell straight down quite low. Why? Did I mention this in my video? No, I done a TikTok because you girls been a bit distant from the videos, but I'm getting back on track. They will be bi-weekly or bi-cyclically. I don't like to use the word week. We're going to focus our videos purely on the moon phases, and that's it. I was getting a bit burnt out doing it every Sunday, so we're switching that. There may be some, so yeah. Anyway, before I go into more of that, I'll explain more about the transition. But we was in this Scorpio energy. Now Scorpio is very it's a water sign, and it can appear vulnerable, which is what happened in the market. We had a lot of this vulnerability, like it pushed us down so low, but ultimately that is Scorpio's strength. The vulnerability is Scorpio's strength, which tells me that though it may have pushed down low, this low will give us the propelling or the propeller. I'm a big propeller, however that song goes. But anyway, the propeller to push us back up. So people thought, oh, it's going low, being seen as a weakness, which Scorpio can create that illusion, but really it's a big strength. So what is this telling me? As we are coming into we are in our full moon phase, and it's in Taurus. We're going to touch on Venus in Scorpio as well, but it's in Taurus. So this is telling me, being in this moon phase, Taurus energy can easily move a steady 30% plus, 30% plus steadily. It's quite steady. It is based around money, stability, love as well. But of course, we're not focused on love now because we're talking about the markets. But that's stable type of energy. Taurus also is a new toroidal field. Like, clues are in the word itself. It is the toroidal field. So you need to deep this and the importance, because within this toroidal field, where the energetic stamp of the market is going to shift. Okay, meaning we have been in this big downward trend for time. Like, we reached highs, people got excited, and then we flipped the switch and we just dipped low. But being this Taurus moon, and I didn't make it clear, this is based off of the visible sky. So the moon that you see outside, the full moon, will be in front of the Taurus star constellation. Mainstream tropical Western astrology will say different, but this is the sky. So anyway, we will essentially enter into this new toroidal field, into a whole new energy field of the market, essentially flipping from this downward momentum to this upward momentum, which ties into the weakness that Scorpio, in our previous new moon, Scorpio emitted, thinking, oh, we're so weak, we're going to collapse, it's not going to happen. And then this Taurus energy comes in, bringing in this new whole toroidal field, potentially giving us a steady jump up. As when it is the full moon, price finds its support, and you can then essentially long the market. So this is telling me, like, the moon phase, what day is it coming in? On the 4th of December. It's telling me, even if price wants to hover at this point and take its sweet time, essentially the moon will come in, make its support. I feel it will be at this level. Why? Because the 8 moving average has started to point up. So this is telling me, in terms of us wicking down, like, further is less likely. Like, looking at the monthly and just removing the moons. Oh, moons aren't there because it's just like, it's too much anyway. Looking at the monthly, you may think, like, we of course are in a nice upward trend, but will we come back down to this point? I personally feel we came back, retested it here. I feel that this wick was enough to get close back to these last all-time kind of highs we were reaching at, for us to continue to the upside, instead of a full, like, we've come back here down to 64k. I mean, that could be a possibility. It would tap us into our we have a trend line. Let's remove this. Moon phases. Why is it not showing it here? It shows it on the app. But anyway, not the app, we're going to get back into this. It's like it's got rid of my trend line on the app. Where is it? W time frame. Yeah, there we go. So on the web view, let's get rid of the moon phases. It made me think, because we were in this parallel channel for a while, we were traded in it, we came up, back tested it, and then bounced right off it again. So it made me think, will we want to try and hit back this again? But I just don't really see why we should. There's just zero reason. Going back to the 64k, like 65, 64, to tap back this trend line. But do keep that in mind if that's the case. But even as you can see with the RSI, I feel being in a complete uptrend anyway on the macro perspective, this is a very low low. So there's zero reason to even go lower than this, continuing up. It's essentially looking like a recovery up and out, and these are the lows. But we don't want to ignore the fact if we want to get a crazy wick there. I just don't see it as a huge possibility, but it depends, of course, on how this full moon energy comes in. That's going to be our biggest thing. So we're going to just keep that as a possibility. Us literally just coming back and doing a double tap based off of this zone. But I'll be honest, I don't see it as a high possibility. I'll be completely honest. So going back down to the daily now for Bitcoin, I'm kind of seeing, I am kind of seeing, look, the structure has changed. Let's zoom out. No, let's zoom in. The structure has changed. Like if we were to possibly go down to the 4 hour, we'll see even more structure. But this move right here is bullish. And the fact that the 8 has moved under it, we could literally hover at this zone. This could be declared as our new support zone. This Taurus full moon, the cold moon. And we could then bounce up higher from that. How high could we go? I've only back tested for XRP, to be honest. Not fully for Bitcoin, but when it comes to Bitcoin, when it came to XRP, it moved at least 30% was the average when it was a moon in Taurus, especially the full moon. So giving us that 30% if Bitcoin was to move similarly to XRP, it's basically a big propelling up, bringing us back into this zone and this area. Like quite literally, that's 29% there, bringing us back up to this point before we essentially have a little rejection, come back down, create a higher support, and then move up on out of here. Like what is the calendar saying for December? So we have this. So my only question is, will this full moon, will we get higher than these points? Will we get higher, or will it just bring us to this point, and then will we get rejected down, but nowhere near as down as like these levels? Just a little rejection off of our new support after being like catapulted back up to these levels. Will we get rejected down going into the end of December, January, and in January will we then go on up? So it's just observing it all, and I feel the slower periods, like I don't know, I feel it will be a Merry Christmas like quite literally, because even when it comes to new moons, when we get a resistance level, we could easily be pulled up here from our support, pulled up, and then price may want to continue up higher to be pulled up higher before getting rejected, essentially making this zone a new support level. So we go up and we come back down, and it's our support when we enter. Rotted, bumberclarted, do not get devilman started. You know when, like, hold on, I think someone's at the door. Give me a moment. Hi, is that a parcel here? Lord me God, I can't even answer the door. Oh, it's fine. It's like I heard the door, but then they've walked next door, but I'm doing the video. So anyway, I say it got, I'm not expecting any delivery today. So where was I? Yeah, I'm wondering basically if we'd be pulled up into our new moon Sagittarius. Why? Because Sagittarius is pointing in a new direction, but we'll cover that. We'll cover this whole Sag energy on the 14th. So I'm seeing you now, I'll see you again on the 14th. We're going to do these videos in between the moon phases to see how the previous moon phase has acted and how the potential like other phase is going to act. But that could be a possibility. Our full moon in Taurus pushes us up. Our new moon in Sagittarius could rise us higher to a new resistance level above these zones, and we could then retest these highs as our new support. That's one option. Or we've got the other option of, again, this does catapult us higher instead of bringing us like to this zone. Like, we're so close from this zone. It's still a possibility if we could wick to it in this Taurus new moon, and then this is our support. But I don't know, I feel it's most likely here. And we could just be pulled up closer to these highs, and the Sagittarius new moon kind of just gets us rejected off it before we catapult up. So it's going to be one or the other. That's what I'm seeing. We're either within this month, we'll either just get rejected at these highs. People sell just before Christmas, so the winter solstice, people start to sell, which makes sense. Look, new moon, people are going to get out so they can go and enjoy Christmas, and then they'll come back into the markets afterwards. Yeah, so we'll see ultimately how all of this pans out, but essentially that's what I am seeing. You're right, love. Yes, you can. So that's what I'm seeing with this, and I just generally feel allowing all these moving averages to kind of catch up. We're being supported by the 8, propel us up, allow the 55 and the 200 to eventually flip over, and then so on. Or will this just drop us down lower? Like, is this just the beginning of the lows? I'm not sure. We've been waiting on this whole crypto bull run for the longest of time. So it's really interesting to see. Gosh, what am I putting in? Oh no, stop it. No. Let's just close that tab. Fear and greed index. I don't know, I hate that it's just like exposing me. Don't expose me. But let's check out the fear and greed index, as well as, I should have had all these stuff up really, but I didn't. This better be the right one. It was the purple one, so let's just see. Laptop's a bit laptop-in. I just need to see the thing. So as you can see, people are in a lot of fear. There's extreme fear happening today, yesterday, last week, last month, last cycle, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of fear going on. So this is telling me a reversal in the market is imminent, because people are scared. They're scared. They want to get out. They're like, what's going on? I don't see, nothing's happening. And they're getting scared, and that's when the market decides to flip. So this is telling me I just don't feel the market is going to push down any lower, because so much people are already scared. It's been pushed down quite a lot, and it's all happening now based off of this full moon that is coming in. We won't even look at XRP today. If you just work I've got a lot of stuff I need to clear off the laptop. And what is this? Human challenge. Please just bear with me whilst this is loading, and I'll chat to you more. But anyway, the stock to flow model. Let's just take a look at it because I've not seen it in a while. Jeez. Okay. I'm not liking this. To be completely honest with you, I'm not really liking the colour. Yes, darling. You can, but no games. For now, it's too early. I thought you was going... Zaya asked me if you wanted to play the game. Fix the tab browser. It's slowing your browser. IQ test.
We have to play it.
Oh, I thought you wanted to play it anyway. But I'm in the middle of doing a video, darling. So you can, just the normal ones. There's none of the games. Alright?
I'm not sure.
No, not while I'm not there. Okay, I'm almost finished this video. I don't know who that is. Oh, right then. I'll be able to see from here. So you can tell that the yellow is changing colour, and we're going into this, turning into this greeny type of energy, which when it turns to this type of energy, it's time to start contemplating when to either get out of the market, or it's coming to an end. So for me, this is telling me like we're further away from this line. Will we reach this line? But this is telling me before we enter this full green, which is the bear zone, you can tell it's starting it. Look at the tinge colour changing. It's definitely starting to turn that colour. So again, I feel along with the fear and greed index, this is another confirmation of we're in this like a final stage of this push getting ready to happen. It has taken longer than expected, though it was known it was going to go into 2026 anyway. But my question is, because we didn't create certain highs, will we have an extended time throughout 2026? So basically this time next year, will we be in the bull run as well? Because this bet, like the 4 years on off, just doesn't seem to be accurate anymore. It seems to be changing. However, we are changing in color. So I feel a momentum is coming quickly. It's coming sooner rather than later. And I do feel we are going to have highs Q4 and Q1 of next year. And it's only once we've got those highs we'll be able to tell what's going to go on after that, if we have room to continue or if this is the end. But sorry, US dollar. Eventually I'd love to reach to a point where I'm trading live with you people. Like I'd love to do live trading, but anyway, when that aligns. So that's essentially what I am seeing when it comes to this, like Bitcoin. We've like scalped the lows so much, it is time to essentially reverse. But will this be a weak reversal? Will we come back like closer to this point before going up? Or will our moon... Oh, I'm on the wrong Ross Clark chart. I prefer the app rather than the website. Will we find our support here, or will this be so weak we keep going down? But will that be our new toroidal field, or will our toroidal field show bullish energy? I'm contemplating it showing bullish energy. But let's take a look on the smaller time frames just to see what I'll go on. And before we do that, let's just look at the Bollinger Bands. I'm saying it wrong, but Bollinger Bands, you can tell we were very close to the low. We bounced off of the low and now we're in the middle of the Bollinger Band. Will we get above that, and will that bring us to the highs? So basically bringing us to at least this point, and potentially off of our full moon. Could our new moon bring us higher? So it's all interesting. It's all interesting to see. MACD wise, we are entering into more bullish zones, and with the RSI, we were clearly oversold. You can tell we're recovering here. So again, another confirmation of the recovery happening. Let's go down to the 4 hour just to deep what is going on. So on the 4 hour, it's looking a bit better. The 200 moving average is still above us, which we do want to be below us. However, at least the 55, or is it the 50, is underneath us anyway, and we're clearly being supported quite nicely by the 8 moving average. So essentially, we want this golden cross to happen with the 55 and the 200, which will come in time, I guess. It will come because you can clearly tell we're being supported. This is curving up. We're going to move up based on this full moon. Like, it's going to happen. And people always bullshit. Oh, they laugh at me. They laugh at me. You're looking at the moons. But just look at yourself before you laugh. Back test it and then laugh afterwards, you know, period, point blank. But that it's seeming likely we're getting a nice support, so to at least bring us back to this level and to tackle these last lows is what I'm seeing happening on Bitcoin. I feel I just want to focus on Bitcoin today, to be honest. So this video will just be about Bitcoin because the market will follow Bitcoin anyway. And on the hourly is looking good. So as you can see, we don't need to go lower than the hourly because this is all already giving us the confirmation needed. This is our full moon energy. But the 200, as you can see, is underneath. All of the moving averages right now are underneath price. So what does that tell us? It tells us that we're being supported here. Even the 55 is underneath the 8. So the moving averages are all in the right place for upward momentum. We just need to build that up. So yeah, I essentially I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it on my bias that this Taurus full moon we're entering into a shift of toroidal field energy. Like, within the energy of the crypto market, it's going to begin to attract something new to its toroidal field, which I'm seeing is upward momentum. I'm basically seeing it as upward momentum, this pivot in energy in the market. Like, look, it just looks clear. Break, little retest to go up higher. And I generally feel we're going to be tackling at least this zone again, getting back up into this zone from this full moon. And the new moon, we'll look at it more depending on where we finish this full moon. We're either going to be extended up higher over this zone, or we'll just be stopped at this zone, little retest before breaking out. It will be one of the two, but something needs to happen quickly. Something needs to happen quickly. It really does. The fear is there, so it's the best time to start moving. So I'm going to finish it there. But if anyone wanted the calendar, the next year's calendar is actually going to be out soon. Next year's calendar is ready, and it's just giving like a whole next type of vibe. So make sure you check it out. Do check it out. Some things are very similar as they are. This is April 2026. The calendar, it's ready, people. It is ready. So the digital version will be available very soon. It will be available on my store, and as the calendar starts in April, you can get the rest of this year's calendar plus the other one, which will be available before our next video. Okay, so before our next video, the digital ones will be available, and essentially not long after our next video, the physical ones will be available. But I do want to combine them so you can get the rest of this year going in up to March 2026, and then of course the new year at a good price. If you get it basically before March, it's a good price for the digital version, and I'll combine the physical ones as well if you wanted a physical calendar. But yeah, with that being said, I do offer birth chart readings as well. If you are interested in that, all the details will be down below. And please support your girl. If you either want a calendar or a reading, or even one of my teas, like I can't, the market's moving. You know what I'm saying? Support your girl that way. And if you aren't able to in that way, then simply liking and sharing the video will do wonders for your girl. But with that being said, I will see you in the next video. Angel out. Bye.